Hey, buddy.
Hi!
We're live! Hello! Welcome to our live chat tonight. It's April 16th. We're right in the middle of Camp NaNoWriMo, so we're going to do another write-in. That's what those are called. Tonight, words. Words are great. So yes, we're doing another write-in tonight. If you've never been here for a write-in before, basically it'll just be, we'll give writing prompts that you can use if you want to, you don't have to use them, and then we will have a 20-minute writing sprint where you'll just write or revise whatever it is you're working on, and then we'll check in, we'll answer your questions, talk about how things are going. So this is definitely a chat where you can ask all of your writing, revising, whatever questions that have to do with books and writing. So yeah, so we'll start with talking about what we're all working on tonight. And the first person on my screen is Desiree.
Oh, okay. Well, unfortunately, I'm not working on anything fun tonight. I would love to get more work done on my Camp Nano project, but unfortunately, I have a rough draft due for a speech that I have to do in my English class. So that's what I'll be working on tonight.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yep. And
then I have Rachel, whose name I just forgot. So tonight's going really well for me.
Rachel,
I'm Rachel's kind of laggy, so she's gonna type her stuff out, and Erin's gonna read it for
I
y'all.
am officially Rachel's interpreter tonight. Just she has a bad connection. She'll be conversing with us through intricate sign language and gestures and the chat box on the side. And so I will interpret. Yes, there's the gestures, which are slightly frozen as well.
I love it.
So, okay, not intricate gestures and prancing, just like thumbs up, thumbs down. So Rachel's working on English notes for her latest project. Yeah.
She's also going to be disappearing not too far into the chat because apparently she has cooler people to hang out with tonight. So.
She has better things to do, like eating food at a dinner, and I get it.
Yeah,
I understand.
I don't. I'll never forgive, and I'll never forget.
Ooh. I just gotta chill.
It'll be super awkward when we're all together.
Megan just ignores Rachel all weekend. I don't know who that was.
She's dead to me. All because of one live chat.
I can oh, there's a tear gesture.
I like her.
I'm interpreting her gestures really as well. Rachel is crying. My interpretation. You have made her sad.
So next up we have Megan. What are you working on?
That's a really good question. Probably first drafting for the creepy organ magic one. But we'll see. I've kind of hit a point where it's like, do I have a plot? Who knows? Am I gonna keep working on it? Probably should.
By organ, you mean musical organ, right? The musical instrument?
I wish. Every time I see my Camp Nano page, I think now that it says desserts and creepy organ music.
Wait, is that not what it says?
No, it says organ magic.
I legitimately this whole time thought it was organ. So I was going to make a joke. So I was like, oh, it's the musical instrument organ, right? Because with you never know it could be organs. But no, it is organs.
It is.
Literally
organs.
This whole time I thought it said music. So
there you go. So much more innocent than it actually is.
Yep. There you go. All right. So next I have Erin.
I'm still working on my City of Bones meets Dexter thing. I've now officially named it Murder Wizards. It's the official title right now.
I like your synopsis and excerpt. They're great. It's like murder, 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 murder.
I'm super eloquent. So yeah, I kind of hit a snag, and I'm counting. I don't usually do this for Nano, but I'm counting all of my like plotting and all of my brainstorming in my word count too. So today I hit a snag because I couldn't figure out what the heck was going to happen next because I'd only plotted up to a certain point. So I spent a lot of this morning basically brainstorming and trying to figure out what was coming next. So I'm hoping for this chat to actually get some real words written.
I'm working on the same revisions I've been working on. Actually, last week I was working on my outline, and I'm still working on that this week because I haven't done anything all week long. So, you know, April's turning out to be a real productive month for me. So I'm still working on my note cards. Yay.
I've got some note cards back here too.
Nice.
Down there. Feel fancy with them back there. Like, wow, look, I work sometimes.
I do things. I organize.
I'm trying to. Oh, I see them. I'm like clicking on your picture. Ah, the note card.
Down the floor.
Beautiful.
Yes.
I don't have note cards. When do we want to start?
Say, 45 is probably too soon because it's a minute away. So let's go with the 50 is when we'll start. Do we have any questions or anything yet?
I think everyone's just saying Happy Easter and stuff so far.
Yeah, Happy Easter.
Happy Easter, everyone.
Easter.
Did anyone get chocolate?
Yes, I got so much chocolate.
I didn't get.
I'm going tomorrow to get the discounted chocolate.
Yeah, good idea.
That's what I'm doing too. That's the plan.
Good idea. Oh, Rachel has her hand in the air. Is that a yes, you got chocolate?
Yes.
I think she's typing yes. Yes, Rachel got lots of chocolate. I love, just raise your hand if you want us to interpret something, because that's going work.
I know I keep forgetting that it's Easter, and so I was all like, oh, you know, it's the weekend before we leave for Canada. We'll get all this stuff done. We have like shopping we need to do, and it was like everything is closed today, and I was like, crap.
Yeah.
I know. When I actually was like a good person and went to church, I would have remembered it, but it's not happening anymore.
Yeah. Well, like my family has a reunion on Easter, like my dad's family, so it's usually a really big like holiday. But since we leave in 2 days, I was like, I'm not driving all the way up to like North Florida, like 5 hours away, for like a 1-day reunion, and then home, and then all the way to Canada. Like, I'm not going this year.
Yeah.
Rachel also needs to run 6 billion. That's a big number, errands, and everything is closed. I'm trying to get snacks for the plane, and I'm like,
I have so many snacks.
I don't know what to bring.
Snacks today. We bought some today because Walmart was actually open, but their Easter candy wasn't discounted yet, so I have to go back for that tomorrow.
Walmart. Curse you, Walmart. Should be by tomorrow. Me too, but I always end up there. I'm always like, I'm swearing off Walmart permanently now because I think it's a gross store, and then I'm like, how did I end up here again? It's like magic.
Today I was like, I'm only here because you're the only store open.
Walmart's so good.
Yeah, I love Walmart. It's like the only store in this whole town.
So you have to love Walmart. You have no choice.
The Target is closed, Publix is closed, everything's closed.
Well, because Walmart's putting them out of business, probably.
True.
It's closed on Easter because they're nicer to their employees than Walmart is.
I don't know how we started talking about Walmart, but
Easter.
Not
Snacks.
the theme of this chat.
For the trip.
Oh yeah, snacks for the road trip.
I also had to go so I could buy like a dark colored towel so that I can like not ruin any of Kelly's towels with my purple hair. So.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Brought my own
I
towel.
didn't think about that. Yeah, because last time I went to a hotel, it was like, I hope you're okay that all your towels are blue now. That's so pretty.
I bring my own pillow and my own towel.
Yeah, actually, what I
plan
do
on like bleaching her bathtub after I shower.
what you can do for your pillow is actually get like a black tank top and fold it inside out and put it over your pillow. That works.
Smart. I just had a towel on top of my pillow for the last 2 nights.
Yeah,
so.
towels are like rough and uncomfortable though. So if you can find like a cotton tank top, it's better, and then you won't like dye all of your pillowcases. You might as well just buy blue pillowcases now anyways, but
Exactly. This is my life now. It's a life in purple.
welcome.
All under my fingernails. It's awful.
Yes. It's all over my
fingernails
hands.
tonight. Yeah.
I
Usually
got
I do
nail
it.
polish. I need to do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
usually I do it myself, but the lady did it, and she still managed to get it all over me. I was reading a book. I was reading the Court of Shadow, whatever, and I was
Yeah.
like looking down, and I'm like, why is there blue on my book?
I know.
This is
It was
not
about the lady got purple everywhere because I went to the salon for it. Like it was on like their cabinets and like all through their sink and on the floor. She was wearing like a cream colored like kimono, and like while she's doing it, she was like, I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to wear this, because like she knew she was doing my hair and like I'd made the appointment and everything. She was like, I don't know why I thought this was a good idea, and she like managed to get like a couple spots of purple on it. I was like, I'm so sorry.
Where do you go that
Kimono
your
was
hairdresser is wearing a kimono?
Well,
Was
she
it
was
just?
wearing like black, but it was just like a little cream colored kimono over it. That she
Oh,
was
okay.
wearing. Like, she was wearing like a black tank top.
We would like the exact address on air, please.
Yes, let me tell you all where I get my hair done. Let me give you the date of my next appointment as well.
You can show up
Please.
to cheer me on.
You can come watch me get my
Yeah.
hair done.
Last time I did get my hair purple, and well, a little while ago, and the guy had the purple. They for somehow it managed to get through his gloves and onto like his hands. And he's like, it looks like I was attacked by Barney, and I was like, oh, sorry.
I'm gonna pay you lots of money for this if that makes it any better.
Yes, you can afford
All right.
to get it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Writing prompt.
So we have 1 minute. Yeah, 1 minute until our first writing sprint. So I'll go ahead and give you guys the prompt. The prompt is, all of my prompts today are things that will make your characters' lives harder. So, you know, because that's the goal. So the first one is just a minor inconvenience. It's your character has to find an alternate form of transportation. Their car has broken down, or there are no horses to be had in the village, so they have to find some way to get where they're going.
Excellent.
I'm actually gonna write my story right now and just save my hair.
Do it!
This is awesome.
All right, it's 7:50, so we're gonna start and go for 20 minutes. So we'll be done at 10 minutes after the next hour, depending on what time zone you live in. Good luck. and time. Welcome back. How did it go?
Terrible. The first one's always so bad for me.
Either.
Oh, did we lose Rachel completely? Oh,
Yeah, she said she was
Gone
leaving like
for
on the
dinner.
floor.
Oh, look at the chat.
I'm not observant.
I got 250 words. Was not the greatest, but I decided to do my homework instead of working on my project because that's what a good student should do. And I guess I
Way to
should
be
try to be
responsible.
That's really responsible of you. I got candy.
Nice.
I'm jealous.
Yeah. And I wrote like 2 paragraphs, but not in the one I'm supposed to be working on because I couldn't think of a plot. So I gave up and went back to revising.
I introduced a new character, and then I was like, she was going to be one way, and she's just ending up being a different way, and now I'm not sure what I'm going to do with her. I hate it when that happens.
I always hate that, but I feel like it's good in the long run because it's always like the character comes out really fleshed out.
Yeah.
But when you're drafting, it's like, this is the worst. Why won't you just do what I wanted you to do?
I was going to have her be like this kick butt warrior, and then she's like, oh, I'm a pacifist. And I was like, oh, that's not what I made for you to be. Okay.
How did this happen?
Never mind.
We've got Asha got 199 words. Sam got 766. Leah got 352. Andrea got 757. Lee got 91 words into an outline, but then got distracted by researchy things.
Researchy.
Yeah. Nocturne Kelp got 725. Alexis Books got 653. Diane Upton got 458. Words Fault got 162. You guys are killing it. Dark Deluxe Full got 65, more or less. Anna got 196.
Go team.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Oh, words.
All the words.
Yeah. Have you guys seen that meme that was going around again recently that was talking about how writers write the most beautiful words ever in their books, and then on Twitter it's like all caps and craziness, and the person replied and something like, do you know how much braining it takes to make words go? That's how I feel today. So
Yeah.
much braining. The words, they don't go.
Like the
It's been
writer.
me lately, like all month. I feel like I've just been like, this is so hard.
Am I sure writing is the thing?
The funny thing is, like, I was just going to say for me, more often, it's less like, I don't know what words, and more like, I don't know what comes next, so I can't write the words.
Yeah. For me currently, it's like, how do I make the words sound good? That's what I've been feeling lately with revising.
Ugh, I get that for sure.
And it just feels like with all the projects, like the one I don't know how to plot, but also with like this revising one, it's like I'm working so hard on these and I think it's only getting more confusing. How is it possible that I can be going through these sentences over and over and over again and they are just getting more confusing?
Yeah.
I feel like you can edit yourself so much, though, that it, like, takes away from it rather than makes it better, or, like, makes it more confusing.
Yeah.
Or makes it, or even, like, you had it fine before, and you're like, I have to edit this so people understand, and then it's, like, explaining it to people like they're dumb.
Yeah. And one of the things I've noticed lately is that one of my problems is actually that in my attempt to not do too much backstory, I've done no backstory in any of my books. And so it's always like, well, why is the character doing this? Why are they doing that? And now I'm trying to go back in and be like, and here's this backstory. Very briefly, why it makes sense for my character to be doing this. I was like, this feels wrong.
I just forget to put the backstory in until much later in the book. I'm like, crap.
Yeah.
When
Like,
your
so
readers are like, I'm so confused, and you're like, right.
Why hasn't this even been hinted at all for this entire book? It's not even like surprising backstory either. It's just like, oh yeah, this is their backstory. It's like, where did this come from?
Writing would be a lot easier if all the readers could just live in our heads.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Why don't they do that? Come on, just read
Hop
my
on
mind.
in.
No, you know what? On second thought, don't. I'm sure it's like this terrifying place.
Just a hellscape of anxiety and really gory scenes.
Yeah.
And like lots of caffeine. Yes. Oh my God. Okay.
So much caffeine.
I watched The Grudge. Speaking of gory and scary, well, it's not really gory, but I watched The Grudge for the first time yesterday. I've never seen it before, but it's like one of those classic movies everyone's always talking about. And so I had the most screwed up dreams last night. Like this morning I would like wake up and then I'd fall back to sleep. And every time I fell back to sleep, I dreamed that I was hunting zombies, but they weren't normal zombies. They were like, you know how she walks in The Grudge? The girl?
Yeah.
And it's like her. Bleh, I can't. And that's how the zombies were walking in my dream. And I was like, kill them all with a kitchen knife. And like, I even have the kitchen knife in my kitchen right now. Like, it was such a realistic dream. And I like in the morning, I was like looking in my drawer. I'm like, yeah, this is the one I kill zombies with. Right. Oh my God. No more scary movies before bed.
I just watched the commercial for the new It movie, and I've never watched it. I've never read it because
Me neither.
it would freak me out.
It is really good.
And just the commercial gave me nightmares about Pennywise, like the whole time.
Oh, I'm so excited to see that movie.
I am too. I'm stoked.
Yes. Oh, it's going to make me pee my pants, and I don't care. I'm so excited.
We had a question.
Sign me up.
From Dr. Luxful, what are you guys' favorite writing snacks? Mine is Twix, is what they said, not what I'm saying.
I just mostly drink a lot of tea, like a lot, but not really snacks. I guess if I snack, I get stuff on the keyboard, which turns out to be bad because it's usually chocolate.
I really like popcorn.
Ooh, yeah.
Right now, I've been really into like.
Yeah, I feel like pretty much everything ends up making a mess. So like, yeah, I don't eat a lot.
Yeah.
Like it's either like something like popcorn where I'm getting grease on my keyboard, or like something I'm crumbling. Like I don't know. I tend to make a mess with food, so I try not to do it on my computer.
Yeah, exactly. If I'm revising, or no, not revising, but if I'm like reading through my manuscript just on my computer and I'm not having to touch the keyboard too much, then I'll totally have. I usually have like lunch doing that though. I don't usually just snack. It's like mangoes or crackers and cheese.
I like pesto. You can get like those things at Costco. I like the pre-made pesto, and I'll just like whip up a little bit of pasta and eat lunch because I'm at my desk all day. I work from home, and so if I'm like writing or if I'm working, usually it's just like a straight up meal I'm having there.
Yeah, same. Yeah, actually, that's exactly right. I was going to say, I'm usually eating a meal. It's because I work at home all day. So like breakfast, lunch, and sometimes dinner are often like in front of the computer while I'm like, I got to get this thing done that I should have done 5 hours ago. So I'll just do it through dinner.
Yeah. A lot of times though, if I'm like straight up in the writing zone, I can only have like water or coffee because if there's food, I'll be like, look at this food. This food is amazing. It's so good.
And like when I eat or snack, like I focus on the food a lot, so I can't do it while I'm writing or something because I'll be like, I'll just sit there and eat the candy instead of actually writing.
Yeah,
like, I don't have enough self-control to like eat a piece and write and eat a piece. Like no, I'll just sit there and eat it all and then be like, oh, I guess now I have to write.
Yeah, actually, that's really true.
I snack in between like sprints because I write in writing sprints like normally because if I don't, I'll just stare at the computer for like 20 minutes.
That's smart.
And then
I try.
I'll eat in between.
Yeah, I try not to because I write so much, I try not to associate snacking like on candy and stuff with my writing. I already have that problem with Netflix. So like if I have Netflix on, I'm like, it's time to snack. Like my brain automatically thinks so, which is already enough of a problem. So if I do it for writing as well, my brain will forever be like, okay, it's time to eat. So no, it's a problem.
Should we start the next sprint at the 25?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Sounds good.
We have another question that we can answer until then.
Do it.
Flautist58 asked, hey, WordNerds, how long do you all spend on the brainstorming phase of writing a novel? Right now, my writing time is spent pacing and listening to indie music while I brainstorm.
That sounds nice. I don't know why. I'm like, this sounds good.
I'm trying to spend. You go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Fight.
Virtual slap fight. I don't know how that works. I am like one of those people that's like car lights. You know, when they say that metaphor where it's like you can kind of like see as much as you can of the road ahead of you just by what your lights cast in front of you, and then you don't really worry about it. You get the whole way doing that. So I do that with plotting. So I'll plot out the next couple chapters. So every few days I do have to sit down and plot. But that also means that I can start pretty quick and I don't have to, plot for like a week before I start. So.
Yeah, as I say, I usually start fairly quickly after brainstorming, and then I get stuck and I have to do a lot of like plotting as I go. I'm trying with the project that I'm like starting out on right now. I'm not really working on much because I'm doing these revisions. I'm trying to like do a little bit more brainstorming and plotting before I start. Because I have a lot of ideas for the layering story, and I want to make sure I have that all written down because I have a tendency to forget things. So I'm trying to spend a little bit more time on it this time, and less like coming up with the ideas and plotting, but more just giving the ideas more time to like simmer. Because a lot of times I try to jump in too fast, and then I realize that like I went with the wrong idea, or like I was looking at it from the wrong angle, and so I'm trying to like give it more time to like sink in, so that I can figure out like what I want this book to be before I like get too far into it. So.
Yeah, for sure.
I would say limit brainstorming to like a week tops. Like at least for me, like I usually like keep it at a week, and that includes like pre-writing a lot of the times. Because if I spend too much time thinking about writing and not actually like writing, it is never going to happen.
Because I think for everyone it's different. Like some people spend some people do, like full outlines and synopsis and everything before they start, and other people start really quickly. And so it's going to be different for everyone, but I think the important thing is knowing when you still need to work, like when you need to keep brainstorming and when you're brainstorming to put off writing it. Because you eventually will reach a point where you're just like trying to plot things and brainstorm things because you're putting off actually doing the writing. So you have to recognize that in yourself.
Yeah, and I find like when I'm actually writing the rough draft, it changes constantly. Like I said, with the girl that is like now a pacifist, I'm like, well, she was a major part of the plot and she's still going to be, but her role has to be different now because she doesn't want to fight. So like the whole thing is going to change anyways, and that happens with literally everything for me. So even if I write out this gigantic plot, which I have done before, I'm like, great, I spent like 2 days on that plot, and now I might as well just crumple it up and throw it away because I'm going a completely different direction. So if you're like me, where it like constantly is morphing and changing while you write, there's not really a reason for you to plot out in at least in extreme detail. So
I agree with that, because I do the same thing when I write. Like I'll be writing thinking I'm gonna do one thing, and my character's like, no.
I don't think so.
Like, well, I guess I have to change it.
Right. And that's one of the reasons I like having more of a rough roadmap rather than like a detailed outline, just because you have that freedom, and when you get that inspiration and you get that like amazing plot twist idea, you don't have to like panic that it doesn't fit into your plot line. You can do whatever you want,
Right.
Yeah. It's time.
Yes. Our next prompt is your character goes looking for friends and or allies and finds enemies instead. Bonus points if the person they thought were the friends or allies are enemies.
Ooh.
Man, I really
Characters
want
like
to
it.
work on my project. Shooting, but Emma, you're making it so hard.
Yes. So we'll see you guys back at the 45. Good luck. And time. Welcome back, everyone. How did it go this time? Better, worse?
Slightly better. Four winners.
You got how many?
304.
Oh, yeah.
Not
So-
bad.
I don't know how long this assignment has to be, so.
I got really distracted because I didn't realize I didn't know where they were. I know they're in a hotel, but I didn't know what it looked like. So got really caught up in looking up like really nice hotels. And then I was like, ooh, I'd like to stay at this one. No, this one's really nice. No longer research.
Oh.
We have questions.
I think there is one. Give me just a sec. We've got people about to post their word counts. I got another like 3 paragraphs. But I hate adding backstory because it feels like I'm slowing everything down so much.
Yeah.
Like, where's the plot anymore? I don't know.
What is
Yeah.
plot?
Right?
What do I do? What do I do? I have one of those stories where it's like, it's kind of, I don't know if it's like an urban fantasy type thing where it's like the real world, but then there's a secret other world. And I hate those in a way. I like writing them, but it's also frustrating because you're like, now comes the part where I have to try to explain everything without being really backstory dumpy and like having the, as you know, Bob part or anything. Like,
yeah, that is the exact problem with the one I'm supposed to be drafting right now, is that she gets pulled out of this life that she knows and like stuck into the Royal Guard, and it's like, now welcome to the Royal Guard. Here are all the instructions for 75 pages.
Exactly. You're like, how do I do this without sounding like terribly info dumpy?
Yeah.
Very hard.
We've got Defenestration Nation got another page done. Claire got 599. Sam got 683. Leah finished a chapter in the first sprint, so had to outline what happens in the next chapter during the sprint. Nocturne Kelp got 695.
Nice.
Way to go, guys. Also, sorry guys that you aren't able to share links in the discussion. I noticed a lot of you sharing like usernames, and it would have been so much easier if you could just share links to each other's Pinterest boards and stuff. So I'm really sorry. We'll complain to Google about that until they let us do something about it, because we're very influential, you know?
Yeah.
Google listens to us.
I'm sure the reason is because they don't want people trying to like sell things.
Yeah.
Like I understand why.
probably.
We don't really have that problem.
Yeah, having like
We just have people wanting to be friends.
Because like I know sometimes there's like spam and things where it's like, go here to buy my stuff, you know, like
Yeah, that's true.
We are
spam
not a
issue
big
on all
group
websites,
where that's an
including
issue.
YouTube. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
it's
true.
just not an issue for us, but
Yeah. So yeah,
You guys are the bomb.
I can't see them changing it for us, so we'll have to figure out a way around it or something.
If there was just a way we could turn on like if it was an option that we could allow them.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Technology.
We will tell the Googles
Yeah.
that that's what we want.
In the meantime, I put a comment in the discussion, but if you didn't see that, once we go off air, the video will like reload itself and everything will be here just the same as before, but you can put comments and links are allowed in the comments. If you put a link down there and it doesn't show up, it just means that we're approving it. And unless it's spam, we'll approve it. So, we had a question. Where did it go? Dark Deluxeful asked, what plot structures are your favorite, and do you use the hero's journey?
I like 4-part story structure. It's my favorite.
Mhm.
It makes the most sense to me. Like, I get 3 act, but at the same time, I'm like, why is the second act twice the length of the other 2 acts? So I like that 4-part makes them like 4 even sizes. It just makes more sense to me. So
I get that.
yeah, basically like Act 2 really is 2 different parts because the midpoint divides it. So it makes sense to me to have 4 parts instead of 3 acts. But, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to
use the hero's journey. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I used to use the hero's journey, and then it was just I stuck to it too much, and then I got fed up with it.
I think that's really easy to do with Hero's Journey.
Yeah.
That's its like weakness. Yeah. I think it's really interesting. I think it's interesting to analyze books using the Hero's Journey, but I don't think I would ever use it for plotting or outlining or anything. Because yeah, it can get too formulaic if you try to follow it too closely.
Exactly.
If you think of it generally, it can work. Because I still do kind of use the hero's journey. I don't know. It always stuck with me. Like, I don't know. I really like it. But if you do stick to it too much, like you just end up with a pile of cliche.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
Or your reader knows what's gonna happen.
That
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
And
actually-
really bad.
I feel like that's a really good point that Megan just made, because like they talk about in the hero's journey book how like story is like we're brought up with story and we instinctively know story for in particularly the hero's journey. So yeah, like if you do follow it to a T, then your reader will maybe not consciously, but will know what's coming next and won't be surprised by it. So I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah, and I think like in general, like the more detailed structures like Hero's Journey, or like I did the video on Save the Cat a couple weeks ago, I think also those can be used well for like revisions when you already know what your plot is generally. And that way you can use it to kind of like guide your revisions. Because yeah, I think sometimes if you're using it for plotting a first draft, then that's where you might get like too stuck in that structure. So I like something looser, like 4-part or 3-act or something for drafting.
Something more
I
flexible.
love 3-act. It's my favorite. It like how a 4-part just like makes a lot of sense to Emma. 3-part makes a lot of sense to me. For some reason, I've like Act 2 being huge does not bother me at all.
And really all structures are the same thing when you look at them.
Yeah, that's very true.
Emma is doing a great series on them. If you have not, you should check it out. All of Emma's videos for the last few weeks have been on different types of plot structure, and I suspect a few in the future will also be about plot.
Oh yes, because I think I've only done Save the Cat and 3-act so far, so I have more. I have more coming for you. I'll have to see if I want to tackle Hero's Journey because it's just so much.
Yeah.
That would exhaust me just thinking about talking about it.
Or like the snowflake method. Like I always love the idea of doing the snowflake method, but I look at the snowflakes and I get really stressed out and I just don't do it. Just go get some candy or something instead.
I'm gonna go cut some snowflakes out of paper instead.
Exactly. We have another question.
Okay.
From Fenestration Nation. How do you get yourself inspired for an almost finished draft when you have a shiny new idea that is gnawing at you to write, but you know it would be unwise because you're so close to finishing the first book?
Man, if you're so close to finishing, you power through.
Yeah.
Power through.
Yeah. Well, my advice is what my advice usually is when it comes to inspiration, and that is go on Pinterest. If you have a Pinterest board for the novel you've been working on, if you just look at it, like, it always makes me more inspired. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go write words.
Yeah. And also, like, if you're that close to finishing, like, you can use the new idea, the shiny new idea, as your like reward. Like, just like remind, like, if I finish this draft I'm working on, then I get to like work on that book I'm excited about. Like, I find it much more frustrating when I have a shiny new idea like early in another project, because then I'm like, oh, I have this whole book to write before I can get to it. If you're almost done, it's like, if I just finish this, I get to work on this exciting idea. So.
Yeah, I think it's like not being so much inspired to finish a draft as like discipline. So I would like, if that happens to me, which it does a lot, I set myself like a date and I'm like, okay, I'm going to finish this by the end of April. And then I get to start this new shiny idea, and I give myself an exact date. So that tends to help for my brain. Depends what helps for you.
Yeah. Endings are killer for me. Like, I wish that I was the kind of person who got really stoked because the end was here and it's time to just jam it out. But I don't. It hurts and I hate it. And I hate writing endings. Like, even though it's like the big climax, no part of it is happy for me. And so it's always just like I have to make myself do it with some sort of reward at the end.
It's so hard right now about that. I hate writing the end of a book. I like this stuff right after the climax. I really like when it, like, after they fix the problem and it's like the little bit of resolution, like, here's some cool scenes of afterwards. I like that, but I hate writing the climax.
I like the part right before where everyone is miserable. Yeah. That's my favorite part.
I'm so the opposite. I'm like, yeah, the climax, it's all happening right now. All the crazy stuff that's been building up and it's crazy. Like the ultimate explosion.
I read it as it's coming up. I'm like, oh, I'm almost to the end. I have to write this part now.
I don't get it.
I love being done. Like, I love having the finished book. That's an amazing feeling. But
getting to that point.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Why can't we just wake up and like have finished books like next to us, like on our pillow? Just wait.
The book fairies come in the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I dream that I'm writing, and when I wake up, I get really disappointed that I wasn't actually writing at that time.
I hate that. I used to have dreams where I got like a book contract, like I sold a book, and I'd be like, in my dreams, it would be so
I had a
detailed.
dream like that this week.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, I got this offer from this publisher, and oh my God, so excited. And then I wake up and be like, it's not real.
Did you see Susan Denard's like newsletter this week? She was talking about how she has this recurring dream where she like suddenly remembers that she wrote this book that she forgot about. She's like, wait, that book I wrote, and it's like a book she wrote in like a fit of inspiration, and it's perfect and wonderful and ready to go out.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Why doesn't that happen?
So apparently this is a dream that all writers have.
A stress dream.
Some sort of
I'm sure it's
have
a
an
stress
amazing
dream.
book written.
Oh my gosh.
Also, do we want to do one more sprint?
Yes.
Yeah. I think
Or
so.
no, I'm fine either way.
I wouldn't mind. I want to get to 20,000. It's been taking me so long.
Okay, we'll start one last sprint on the hour.
Okay.
So so Erin can get to 20,000.
Yeah.
Yes.
We got to 20,000.
Shut your face, Megan.
It wasn't during this month, though. I had
Oh.
5,000 before this month.
Oh, okay. I'm at least have to get to 20. I set my goal for 30 and I regret it, but I at least have to get to 20.
We do have one more question we can answer before then.
Cool.
From King McKay. Is it a good idea to change your mind on events and twists that you have already kind of foreshadowed?
You can always go back and fix it later.
I think there's wiggle room.
Yeah, I think it depends on, like, if your first book is already published and you're not following through on some of that stuff, then you kind of need to see if there's a way you can make it foreshadow the thing that you want to do. But if it's just you're drafting it and it's not in the world yet, then just go back and revise later, and no one has to know.
Yeah.
Yep, they'll think you planned it all along.
Yep.
Yeah, someone mentioned too in the discussion that if you can use it as like misdirection, so it feels more like a plot twist, then that can be really cool and really like, that red herring from before.
That's true.
Wow.
I'm trying so hard on this second draft. I want to like add in some red herrings, and it's so stressful and hard. Like, how do I make you think this is the answer, but have it not actually be the anscer?
Yeah.
I've always been
Without it
terrible
being
with
like
that.
so much of a clue that like it has to be the person you thought it was. Like, I don't even know. Misdirection is difficult.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
I don't understand how J.K. Rowling put them like the answer is so obvious, but you don't realize it because you like think it's all these other things. Like,
Yes.
Yeah, I don't get it.
it's so
I'm always like, misdirection, a man with a big mustache and a hat over his eyes.
It was the butler.
No one will know. It's a misdirection.
Oh my gosh. It's like, dear reader, I want
missed
you
the
to
whole
think it's
end of
this
that
person. Think it's this person. So our prompt for this last sprint is, your character's greatest wish is granted with unexpected consequences.
Ooh.
Yeah. So they get what they've been wanting all along. And
I'm gonna write this one too.
I'm sorry. I'll send you a picture with these prompts and you can write them later. We're gonna write from now until the 20, and it'll be our last sprint.
Okay.
Yay.
And time. Yay, last words friend.
Yay!
Funnily enough, right after we talked about hating writing the endings of books, when I went back to my note cards, like right in the last sprint, I had like just made the note card for like my plot point 2, so like moving into like the 3rd act or part 4 or whatever, And so I was like, okay, time to do for the note cards for like the last part of the book. And I couldn't even do the note cards for them. I was like, I've already written this. Like, but I was like, I don't want to make these note cards. So, yeah. So I just didn't. I was like, huh. Lay out the note cards for the rest of the book. I'm not planning on changing much of the end anyway, so I was like, nah. That part's all good. The pacing all works there, so I don't need to worry about that. Yeah, that was how my spring went.
I'm still writing because I'm like, I want to get to 20,000. It's so close.
You can do it.
50 more words.
Do it. Just get there.
Just
50 words.
a lot
like
of
2
dialogue.
sentences.
I'm going to be like, and he said all of this stuff that didn't make any sense or was not related to the plot.
But it's the 50 words you need.
Exactly.
I got to 750 words on my assignment, and then I stopped because it's a rough draft, and I was like, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You're good to go.
I was thinking about my main character in the book I'm revising right now, and how one of the things I struggle with sometimes is feeling like, well, she could go either way. Like, would she jump into this without thinking? Would she stop and think about things for a little bit? And so I was like, I'm going to take one of those Myers-Briggs tests. And I took it. And for 3 out of the 4 Myers-Briggs little categories, it was like, you have marginal or no preference of introversion over extroversion, or of sensing over intuition. Well, apparently the character just is weird.
Now you just have to take the Hogwarts house test for them, and then that's how you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your character will be a hat stall.
I know she's one of those people who's like a Gryffindor who thinks she's a Slytherin. She's like, oh, I'm so bad. But really, it's like super honor, like super brave.
That's also
Sometimes
like,
I wonder if I'm something else, but I am not.
When you have a character like that, it's like, is it that they're a complex character, or is it that like I haven't nailed it down enough
super
yet?
bland.
Yeah, or am I just writing them as everything? Because I've done that with characters before, where I'm like, now they're super out there, and now they're really reserved, and now they're
yeah.
So it's really
like I don't understand what to do now.
Yeah.
Is the problem me, or is the problem just the character?
Yeah. That's rough.
Yeah, I made it to 20. Woo!
Yay!
Finally. I'm not even joking that I made them say a lot of dialogue that I will probably cut out later, but I just had to see the 20. 2-0. That needed to be the next thing that happened, so.
We had a question right as we were about to go into the sprint from Susan. What if you are writing a sequel and a plot point comes up that would cause changes in the first book, which you've already sent out to CPs or betas?
As long as it's not published, you can still change things if you really want to. You just have to decide if it's worth going back and changing everything.
Honestly, too, when I get my work back, for the first and a lot of times the second wave of beta readers, there are drastic things I'm going to have to be changing anyways. And so it's kind of like I write down all the things and I write down all the scenes that it would affect. And then I just wait until I get feedback from betas, because I know they'll also have big things I need to change.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just kind of do them all at once and have another round of beta readers afterwards.
Yeah, I definitely wait until you get your notes back. And then you could even, like, especially if you're close enough to any of those people, you could ask them, like, what would you think if this was changed, and see like what they think of that idea.
Yeah. I have a running list of edits going as even as I'm drafting sometimes, where I'm like, oh, I did this in the start, but I'm changing it. So I'll just have like literally just a note book with randomly jotted down thoughts, like, oh, I'll probably need to edit this later. And then I'll kind of do that a little bit with beta readers as well. I don't know how other people do it, but like unless it's like specific line edits, if it's big things, I'll write, say if I have 3 beta readers, I'll write all of their big things down on the same sheet so I can tackle it all at once rather than going through 3 different times. And same with my edits.
Yeah. We had another question. Where did it go? I can't find it, but I know what the question was. It was asking about gender neutral pronouns in your writing and which ones we use.
They, I've used they before.
I stick to they, them. It's the one that I know for sure will stick around, and I don't feel as confident in other things yet.
I actually have the weird situation where one of my characters was supposed to be a girl, and she still is a girl, but she's presenting as a boy and wants to be. So I was originally like, oh, do I eventually change to female pronouns when the main character finds out? And I was like, no, because she wants to be called he. So I'm just going to keep calling him he the whole time. But yeah, you have to be careful of that, and definitely sensitivity reads are good for this type of situation.
We had another question. Michelle asked, what genres do you like writing the most? Fantasy.
Pretty universal with the word nerds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantasy and science fiction, I think, is most of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Desiree also does screenplays and stuff.
I do. You.
Yeah. Even like right now where I'm doing like a paranormal, like in our world fantasy, even that I'm like, I'm so ready to get back into like secondary world fantasy. Just writing in our world is difficult enough. There's so much to like, I don't know, like not being able to just make it all up is just so stressful sometimes.
I mean, why would
also
you
a
want to
boring
write a book
sometimes.
in our world when you could write fantasy?
Exactly. Yeah.
I've said it so many times, I'll say it again. Dragon.
Yes.
It's true.
As for word counts, we've got Tamara figured out the rewrite for this chapter that she's writing. Lee got another 160 for the outline they're working on. Sam said, woohoo, I was 2,000 words behind in my goal before we started. Now I've got 2,205 in total over the last 3 sprints. Caught up and actually got a little bit ahead. Way to go.
Nice.
EAS said they also caught up to their goal using this write-in and one of our old write-ins, which did you know, at WordNerds.com we have an archive of all our old write-ins and you can just rewatch them. They got 5,008 words today that way. Let's see. We got people talking about doing the Pottermore quiz for their characters, which I highly recommend. Love it. There's the question. Michelle asked, how do you write parts where 2 characters are falling for each other? I find it so hard.
I am not a good person to ask this. Somebody else.
I just don't know how to answer it. Like, I don't know. I don't know how to like. I'm like trying to figure out how to like answer what you do.
I think one of the things is figure out what it is that you like about those characters as a couple. Like, why should they be together? Why would you like the idea of them together, and figure out what it is about their potential romance that would excite you. Do they, is it hate to love? Like, are they fighting half the time and like making out the other half? Or is it like best friends falling in love? Yeah.
I'll also say it's all about the little things. Like, for me, it's all about like the little moments where like one of them needs to be comforted and the other one like provides that, or like, or one of them like goes out of their way to do something for the other. Like, it's all the little like small things that they do, not necessarily like scenes where they're like kissing or anything. And also, speaking of like tests you can do for characters and stuff, it also would probably be a good idea to maybe think about like what your character's love languages are, because that also has an impact on like what is going to affect them the most. Is it going to be someone doing something for them, or just being there for them, or telling them how much they appreciate them? Like, everyone has different things that mean a lot to them, and so knowing that about your characters is a good idea.
I'm putting a link in the discussion section to the 5 Love Languages website.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think
Also, like, if you're really struggling, I would like go look through some of the books with your favorite couples and with your OTPs, and like just flip through and look for like some of the scenes that are like the scenes that made you like swoon or be really happy or ship it or whatever. Like, think about those.
Yeah, I think it depends like what you mean by like falling for. If it's like a sexual tension thing, that I find easier to write than like, oh, they're falling deeply and passionately in love. I'm like, I don't know how to write that. But if it's like, oh, their hands brush, or like, she trips and he catches her, or like all these little things that like, just little things, but I don't know, it's like the obvious attraction between them, but neither of them are saying it. That type of thing. Yeah, it can be fun to write.
Yeah, and the one I'm writing right now, my character loves weapons and hates the male character. And then she finds out that the male character makes gorgeous weapons. So they're bonding over axes, and
Instant
I love
attraction.
it so much. I do want to echo what some people are saying in the discussion, that if you're finding that there's not really anything that gets you excited, you don't have to have the romance. Like, it doesn't have to be there. More and more YA books are coming out lately that don't feature like big sweeping romances as a major part of the plot. If we missed your question, please re-ask it ASAP.
Yeah. Probably only be on for a little bit longer, take a couple more questions. So
yeah,
let us know.
But if we don't get to your question today because we happen to sign off because of the lag or something, we do these chats every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, except for next Sunday because we're all traveling back from Kelly's house. So.
And we'll be flying and or exhausted. Probably all flying, actually.
I'll be
well, not you guys.
The rest of you suckers will be traveling. I'll be home.
Jealous.
I don't know if we'll be back by like 7:30, but
yeah, we'd have to leave pretty early.
Canada. Yeah.
I don't know if I care that much. Yeah. But we have to leave early enough so that you can get home at a reasonable time.
Oh, I'm planning on staying at your house that night, actually.
No, I thought you had to leave immediately after. Okay, we'll talk about this in the post.
That doesn't push that, but yeah.
I thought you were going to drive 14 hours to my house and then another 6 to yours all in one day.
No, I am not doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We had a question, coffee or tea? Coffee!
Tea! We regularly fight about this. In our other live chats. Constant war.
I actually don't have that strong of an opinion about, I kind of like both. So.
Oh, fine.
It depends on the day. A lot of times coffee is too much caffeine for me, so I don't have it a lot.
I bought little travel size like Starbucks iced coffees for the trip because I knew that Kelly probably wouldn't have any coffee.
But she will have tea. So I'm good.
Yeah.
I've never had tea that I like, and I really think I'm making it wrong.
How are you making it? How are you making it?
It's just leaves, and you throw them in the water, and they float, and and then you take them out.
Are you not using tea bags? I'm confused.
I have tea bags, yeah.
Okay,
So
I was like, that might be
and you
why.
poke it, and the water's hot, and I don't.
I think it's also definitely a matter of finding teas that you like, because there are a lot that I think are gross. So
Yeah. Good black tea with milk in it. So
Ooh,
good.
The day I started putting milk in my tea was the day my life changed forever.
You put milk in tea?
That was actually when I started being like, maybe I kind of like tea. Was when I started putting milk in tea.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like green teas or other
Black
teas?
teas.
Black tea.
teas?
Yeah.
Black tea.
Okay.
Technically, you
Try that.
can put you don't put milk in your black tea. Oh, see.
This is America. We don't know how to make tea. We dump our tea in the
I have to know how to
farmer.
make tea.
I was so mad when I went to the U.S. and was like, I want tea, and they gave me sweet tea, and I was like, what is this crap? What do I do with this?
I do love sweet tea.
Sweet tea is
No.
good.
So
I really like sweet tea too.
Oh no, sorry, it wasn't
I
sweet
also-
tea. It was like cold black tea
yeah.
without.
Yeah, that's sweet tea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
sweet tea.
okay, okay. I was like, no, no,
Sweet
not
iced
acceptable.
tea.
No.
We had another question. Where'd it go? Michelle asked in the same vein, what do you usually get at Starbucks? For me, it's iced coffee. Lots of cream and sugar. Lots.
I like so many different things at Starbucks. It's an issue, but probably my regular order is an iced chai.
Yeah, I was gonna say I usually get iced chai when I'm going to Starbucks.
Oh, everybody's
Although
getting
I
all
did
the
try
ice stuff.
I tried a green
This
tea.
is the
frap-
South.
We all live in the South. It's too
Right,
hot for hot drinks
right.
most of the time.
That's true.
I can't drink hot beverages.
Yeah.
I am the type of person though that's like in Mexico and I'm melting and I'm like, but I need my tea and milk. I need hot tea. And all the people on the resort are like, what? Like, we don't have that here. No, terrible. Anyways, I don't drink actual milk anymore, which makes me sad. So when I go to Starbucks, I'll get like a Earl Grey tea with steamed coconut milk. And then the baristas always look at me like I'm crazy.
Really good.
Yeah, it's so good, but they always think that I want a London fog. So they're like, well, do you want the syrup? And I'm like, no, just the steamed milk and the tea. And they're like, okay, it's still $5. Like,
we have one final question. Have this be our last one because it's getting pretty late on the East Coast. What time of day/night do you like to write?
In the early morning, or well, different degrees of early morning. So either like 6 a.m. or like 2 a.m.
Wow, that is early.
I cannot do like late night writing. I can't. It was a problem in college that I couldn't do it either.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I have to do it in the, well, because I write full time, I do it like when I get up, basically. So I'll, put a pot of tea on and then write. And because, when my husband get home, it's just like my brain is like, okay, you're done now. Netflix time. That's an issue. Although with deadlines, I will work through dinner and into the night sometimes.
With a regular full-time job, you get to be done after dinner, so.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think it's a problem if you, after dinner, are like, okay, I'm done with my work for the day.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Providing I don't
I really
on Twitter all day.
Yeah. I like writing in the mornings, but with my job, I do a lot of my writing like in the evenings at work because I'm like at the circulation desk and we're not super busy at night, so I can get some writing done then.
Yeah. I like, if I can, to just schedule my week so that I can take one day and that's like the writing day. And then I just spend the late morning and all of the afternoon just at a coffee shop writing. Not the early morning, because I don't love most things enough to get up in the early morning for them. I can do late night, but I get to start easier.
The reason I have to do mine so early in the morning is because if I don't, it's not gonna get done like at all.
Yeah, because you're still a student.
Yeah, I have class and then work and then home and then homework and then I go to bed because
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
the next day.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, when I worked full time at my other job, I would make myself get up an extra hour early because my job at the time was like you're on your feet all the time and I would be just exhausted at the end of the day. And also my brain would be mush, so I'd be like, no, I can't do anything but lie here and die. So I would go like an hour early on the bus to get an hour of writing in before I started work, or it just wouldn't happen.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's our last question. I guess we will sign off for the night. Thank you for joining us for another write-in. And like Megan said earlier, we won't be here next week because we'll be traveling home from Canada because we're going to Kelly's wedding this weekend. So
For Erin and Rachel, who will be staying in Canada, but still coming.
Yes,
Yes, that's true.
but we're traveling to a different part of Canada.
Yes.
So yeah, so we won't be here next week, and then the week after that is our book club, and it is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. So if you haven't read it, read it.
Desiree
We're
is
very
the
excited. So yeah, so we'll see you guys in 2 weeks for live chat, but we will still have daily videos up for the next couple of weeks. And
Yes.
we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.